This episode is sponsored by Kerkering Barberio, your trusted partner in tax, audit, and outsourced accounting services. Serving Sarasota, Manatee, and the greater Tampa Bay area for over 50 years, KB helps clients achieve their personal and business goals. Visit kbgrp.com to learn more. Hello and welcome to the Business Observer from the Corner Office podcast. I'm Mark Gordon, managing editor of the Business Observer. Today's guest is Erin Silk, president and CEO of the Economic Development Corp of Sarasota County. Erin, thanks for being here.
I'm so excited to be here with you, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Okay, so a lot of people in the business community know Erin Silk. They know you as CEO of Economic Development in Sarasota County. But there's more to Erin than just that. Take us back a little bit. And we were joking before, right? You're a new mom, so there's like that time period, before and after having kids. But take us way back. Tell us about your career and how you got to Sarasota.
Yeah, I am definitely in my mom era right now, for sure. But it's been a wonderful kind of adventure getting to Sarasota. I am actually fourth generation to relocate from up north into Sarasota County. So my great grandmother did it. My grandparents did it. I'm blessed to still have my grandma here in Sarasota County. And since then, I've moved my mom down. She's in Manatee County. She's close. So we're congregating the whole family here. But yeah, I've been here 10 years now. I was born and raised in the Baltimore, Washington area, very busy, kind of a lot of government activity going on, a lot of industry. That was really everything that I knew growing up. And that is really what I thought my future was going to be, going to be working in government in some way. And so I got my business degree out of a small university in Maryland called Towson. And really enjoyed it and started my career in Maryland working for a corporate headquarters. We were a manufacturer, but we had a corporate headquarters in Baltimore. And so learned just so much about, managing our large clients, like we had Petco and Bed Bath & Beyond, and also import export. But really there was kind of something missing for me. I had also volunteered a lot through high school and college. I started my own nonprofit. I had a 501c3 nonprofit when I was 19 years old. And that's where I learned a lot about governance and budgeting and nonprofits. And so I really was always drawn to that. And I had no idea what economic development was, but come to kind of stumble into this career and now absolutely fall in love with it. And so I was working in Maryland and really wanted to get to Sarasota and was really, really motivated to do it, and actually had given notice at my job in Maryland and was going to be coming down here. And truly the stars aligned. I have a guardian angel that was with me. It was my grandfather at the time who connected me with Venice Main Street. And that was my first paid position in a nonprofit where I was, hired as the CEO there. And it was a wonderful just mix of all my past experiences in business strategy, business growth, business management, but also nonprofit management. And so really proud of all the accomplishments over the 4.5 years there and how we were able to grow the organization. And now I'm really happy and prideful about how it continues to flourish. But, there was something inside me that I wanted to have a bigger impact on a greater business region. And so that's what drew me to the EDC about 6.5 years ago. I've been here ever since. I'm now a certified economic developer, one of 1,200 across the world. I have a colleague here, Josh, who's also a certified economic developer. It is truly my passion. I feel blessed to be here and now be in the role of president for a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's seen you speak or talk or be in front of you at an EDC meeting knows that you're very passionate about what you do for Sarasota County. And all right, so you glossed over something. I want to hear more about this nonprofit that you started when you were 19. Tell us about that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, so I found myself in school and really wanting to give back. And there's something inside of me. I'm just, your stereotypical millennial where I need to give back and
Purpose,
my
purpose, purpose.
yes.
Yes.
And I was looking around for a nonprofit to volunteer with. At the time, it was in animal rescue. I was fostering dogs and cats, and I couldn't find one that was a good fit for me. I was in a small town in Pennsylvania at the time. And so, you know what? I was like, I'm going to launch my own. I knew nothing about running my own
Yeah.
nonprofit. And then also, there were a lot of people around me that loved me that said, don't do this. You can't,
Right.
to get your 501c3 tax exemption is very difficult,
It's complicated. Yeah.
as it should be, right? It
Right.
should be. But you know what? I got a 501c3 for Dummies book and I got to work and
Awesome.
we got our 501c3 and really impacted the lives of hundreds of animals over the next couple years, where I was able to work with, shelters, humane societies, and rescue animals from them, rehabilitate them, vet them, and then get them out into new homes. And so but there's a lot more that goes into just the care for the animal, right? There's a lot of contractual obligations. There's a lot of administrative that goes along with it, fundraising as well, working with volunteers, managing volunteers. And so it was like a crash course in nonprofit management. And, at the time, I guess I didn't realize that it was my calling. It was what I loved to do. But I'm so glad that I had that experience, because it now looking back, it's like, well, there was a reason why I was so quick to jump into that, is because this is truly what I meant to do.
What you want to do. And all right, so now we're fast forwarding. We're at the EDC, and I bet you get asked this a decent amount, but I think our audience would want to know too. What do you do with the EDC, right? What's the elevator pitch of what a day is like? Because there's a lot happening, and you're also the leader of an organization, so there's the management side of it too. But tell us about what your job entails at the EDC.
Yeah, thank you. I love talking about the work of the EDC. And so essentially, we are a 20-year-old public private nonprofit organization. We're a 501c6. We have a supportive 501c3, and we were created by a partnership between county, city government, as well as business leadership. And the goal is to diversify the economy, to create resiliency and strength within our economy, because a strong economy is important for a strong community. And in order for an economy to be really, really strong and really resilient, it has to be diversified. And so you have to have lots of different industries. And so our target industries have remained the same for pretty much the past 20 years, some changes, some nuances, but mostly the same. And when you look at our list of targeted industries, there's a couple kind of similarities. One, they are industries that we have great assets that would encourage their growth. So think of like creative and technology, and we have Ringling College here, right? So we have identified industries that we know we can attract and grow here based on our assets. And then the other really big factor of our targeted industries is when you look at the companies that we're working with, they're doing most of or a lot of their sales outside of Sarasota County. So they are selling outside of the county and they are bringing money in. That money is then being seeped out in our economy through workforce and through capital investments and property tax and all the like. And so that really is the idea, is to continue to grow industries that bring in that outside wealth, that create resiliency within our economy. And so that's a really big undertaking. It's a big job. And so the next question might be, well, what do you do to do that? And so kind of our core service offerings are, one, business retention and expansion, as we have a company within any of these industries that's growing here locally. To give you an example, we work with a lot of our local manufacturing. It's manufacturing month, by the way. As a manufacturer is looking for their next growth location, they can pretty much do it anywhere. We want to help them make that decision to do it here in Sarasota County. So oftentimes we're really becoming part of their project team. We can look back at companies that we've been working with over the past, 4 and 5 years, and we'll have anywhere from 20, 30, and even 40 meetings with them on anything related to zoning, permitting, utilities, workforce. We are their liaison. And then additionally, we're the marketing arm for Sarasota County for these industries. So we're out targeting and doing marketing, talking to companies about what it's like to come here and do business, come do your expansion here. And we do a lot of other fun projects to build the ecosystem around it. If there's anything missing to support any of our industries, we want to get those partners aligned in the community, put in our resources in strategic ways to grow the ecosystem to support these industries. And so, my role specifically at the organization is to work with our board of directors. We have a powerhouse board of directors, 25 people. Again, that great mix of government, higher education, business leadership, nonprofit leadership, who really help set that vision. We just went through a strategic planning process and set the vision. So I get to then take that vision, manage the team, and manage the processes and bring that vision to life, and work with all the different stakeholders, and help shape the communication and how we're telling the story out in the community.
So a lot of different pieces, a lot of one of these no day is the same, right? A lot of different things happening to connect all these dots. And okay, so moving on to the sort of the management leadership side, you've been CEO, you said, for about a year and a half, and two previous CEOs before you, it's one of these sort of cliches of big shoes to fill, right? You had Dave Bullock, who was there at a transition period, and I think probably longer than he thought even he was going to be there for that transition period. And then Lisa Krouse, who I don't think you could spend like 1 minute in Sarasota County and not hear how amazing Lisa Krouse is. And it's a credit to Lisa and all the work that she has done in her career. But you're coming in, and as you said, you're millennial, and you're getting this position. And what's that like for you as your career progressed? You're like, wow, I'm here. What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, it was, listen, it was such a blessing to get to work with both of those leaders. And it was like the most amazing leadership course that anybody could ever want to take over this, over the span of, 3.5, 4 years that I got to work with those two and have really, one on one opportunities for mentorship, but also really watch, okay, how did they handle this situation? With Dave, you're right, he was with us longer than anticipated because he came on a month before COVID hit, and it only was supposed to be 3 months he was with us. And so, watching him navigate this really unprecedented, very scary, time. Nobody knew what was going on. So watching him navigate that, getting to hear his thought processes as together we shaped a lot of the public speaking that what he was doing, and much more with Dave. But then, with Lisa, how she really approached everything with the heart. When Lisa walks into a room and she's talking to you, she genuinely cares about you and not just the business deal that we're doing. She cares about you as an individual. And watching her really run a great meeting, with so much heart and empathy and everything that she does. And that's why she's so well respected. So getting to work for these individuals and with these individuals over 3.5 years was such a blessing to me. I feel so lucky to have been able to do it. And I've taken a lot of the things that I've learned from them and interjected into every day. And so, it was great. And coming into the position myself, there was a very thoughtful transition plan that the board, executive committee, and Lisa had worked very, very thoroughly on. And that, again, to Lisa's credit in making sure that that happened that way. And so there was just a very thorough plan. And so walking into the role, I really felt like I had a very good understanding of every process, every flow, everything that was going on. So it truly was a unique way to step into the president and CEO role.
Yeah. I mean, and talk about Lisa a little bit more too, because I think I've heard you say some other times as well that she was a mentor of yours. What did you see in her in action that you sort of taken and tried to incorporate into your own style of leadership?
Yeah, she has an incredible executive presence. And I think that's very obvious to anybody that interacts with her. And I really appreciated her way of running a meeting, for instance. I have really mimicked the way that she ran meetings. And like I said, it's very much about, serious business. Let's not waste time, and let's be transparent, and let's be honest, but also let's really care about each other at the same time, and let's build long-term relationships. And I think, a little bit of part of me, Mark, being from, the Baltimore, Washington area, I'm a little bit like, let's just get to business. Forget
You're
the niceties.
you're bringing the Northeast down to Florida, right? I get it. I mean, I'm from New York originally, and even been here 20 years. There's still a little edge. I still bring out the Bobby from Brooklyn sometimes.
Yeah, my husband likes to tell me when it's popping back up. He's like,
Yes,
"Aaron, the Baltimore's coming out."
Baltimore. Hey, yeah,
Love my hometown,
yes,
but she taught me really that there could be a softness to it, and that really builds better business too. And so I carry that with me today for
yeah.
sure.
It's it's another podcast guest and a mutual friend of ours, Heather Caston, has I've heard her say this often, and Heather's amazing, and she has said when you're running a meeting or you're in that situation like that, it's don't mistake my kindness for weakness, right? Like you can do both, and I think that's probably what Lisa had done that as well, right? Like she wasn't weak by any stretch, but Lisa could be very kind. It's two different things.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're so right.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you have that side of what you've learned, but I wanted to get your take on what you've learned from all these businesses, because one of the things I've always said about my job at the Business Observer that I love is this window into other companies. It could be PGT, who we both know really well, right? This big, huge window business, or it could be this, four-person, tech company that's trying to grow. So we get these window into other businesses. What have you learned about business strategy from talking to all these companies for the past 5, 6 years?
Yeah, you're right. I get a really unique perspective because, we really try to visit a lot of our targeted industries every year. We try to meet with them and what's going on. Tell us about your growth. Tell us about your challenges. So we get kind of a unique window into what's going on, and it's really interesting. I remember days where, we're visiting multiple companies in the same industry, and you go from one company to another, and you really can tell some striking differences. And I have noticed a lot of it is related to kind of your philosophy around workforce and staff. And I think for me, that's probably the biggest difference that I've seen in those companies that are either, have a positive outlook about what's going on. They have a good staff around them that are leaderships and problem solvers and going above and beyond because they really empower their team, really trust their team. And then sometimes, unfortunately, you visit a company where you can just see the culture is so different. And because of that, it's really hindering their growth. So, to me, people are everything. You can have the best product in the world, but if you don't have the right people, it really is not going to go anywhere. But if you have a bad product and you have great people, they're going to help you figure out how to fix it and make it the best product, right? So it's just all around your workforce and your attitude towards them.
Yeah. Yeah, and sorry, so sticking with people, transitioning a little bit of the conversation, but you've built up a good team in your year and a half. What do you look for in leaders, and in just in general, what are you looking for in your team?
Yeah, we have built the greatest team, and that's one of my real prides this year. Starting out a year and a half ago in the position, we were down to 4 people on staff, and not for any particular reason other than it was just transition, and that was what happened at that time. And so, with the 4 people, we had to build back up to 8 to get fully staffed. And so obviously knowing that was going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And so I was super, super proud of how the 4 of us really got together and didn't drop any balls, right? And just kept everything going smoothly. Um, and at the same time, we're able to start planning for those staff members that we brought on. Sometimes having a vacant position is okay because you totally get to reimagine that position. And so
100% agree. Yes.
right? So that's what I never look at kind of a vacant position as particularly bad. It's a new opportunity. And so, really, I got the opportunity to sit down in that moment. Okay, we're really thin right now. What are the core positions that need to be added? With 8 people, every position is really, 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 really important and impactful. And so, got to rebuild the team in the way that I saw it and the way that the rest of the team saw it, because it was very a collaborative effort to hire the rest of the teammates. And I am so incredibly proud of the 8 people that we have now. And to your point, a lot of amazing leaders and emerging leaders. I would encourage you to follow them on LinkedIn and get to know them, because they are just incredible professionals and the sky's the limit for them. But hiring leaders in a nonprofit too, I think there's some nuance that should be identified and discussed there, because we have a lot of stakeholders. The way that we communicate to our stakeholders, being able to share the vision, the why, the mission is just as important as doing the job, doing the technical job, right? And so it is a really interesting balance to find individuals like that. And, I think, I would say maybe like a third of our staff actually has like true nonprofit work experience, whereas other parts of our staff come from government. We have a gentleman who used to be a city manager, Eric. Josh worked for local government in California. And so I really took my time hiring these individuals. I think one, making sure they have the technical skills, the communication skills, but also the vision to say, hey, we're slim right now. We have 4 individuals. This really is a fun opportunity to take a legacy, a strong branded organization, and look at it in a very different light. How can we use innovation, technology, how outside the box? What do we want to look like? Well, how do we want to do it? And what's that brand we want to put out to the community? Come be a part of that. And so that's what I looked for in building the leadership in our team. And I'm very, very happy to say that, I think we've really hit the nail on the head and have a great team.
Yeah. What advice would you give? How did you find these people? I mean, is it as simple as take out an ad on LinkedIn, or is there like an economic development? I'm sure there is an economic development, portal and organization that probably promotes job opportunities. But how do you find these people?
Listen, you find a partner, whether it's a recruiter or an individual who truly, truly gets what you're doing, and bring them in to help you. And so we have um, a lady that helped essentially interview and hire every single person on team except for myself today. And the benefit to working with her was that she got my vision, she understood it, and she took the time and pressure of those individual beginning interviews and was really, really good at weeding out the not good fits, right? Understood the culture I was looking for as well as the technical skills. And so I say, don't try to go at it alone, right? There's so many resources out there for hiring on all scales. You can affordable or these larger scale kind of consultants that'll do national searches for you. But we found a great local partner. She was just amazing and wonderful to work with. She got my vision and she was able to help me continue to focus on the work, and then she could bring candidates to us. And so, yeah, don't go at it alone.
Yeah, that's great advice, especially the part about finding somebody that gets your why, right? Because if you don't have that, they're going to be out there saying, "Hey, we need whatever the title is, economic development planner." Whatever, that's not your why. That's just the title. You need somebody that understands what the mission is behind economic development planning, right? 100% agree with that. Okay, so this is coming out we're winding down here in the fourth quarter of 2024. What can we look forward to for 2025? It's so weird to say that. 2025 as we're recording here, even in early October. But what can we look forward to 2025 for the EDC of Sarasota County?
What's even weirder, October 1st was our first day of our fiscal year. So we are in fiscal year
You're
20.
doing it, all right? You're living it.
We're way ahead of you guys.
Yes.
No, we're really excited. You're going to see a new face on the organization. You're going to see a new brand. We're working on a website refresh, and so you're going to see a new face to our digital as well. One thing I'm really excited about getting the website is really focus on the mission. Those core things that I talked about, right? That is going to be so clear and aligned on the website. And so it's been fun this last year getting to really focus and shape the way that we communicate out our story and our brand. And so we made those changes over the last year and a half and have had great, just great buy-in from the community. So now putting a new physical face to it, new logo, that's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm also really excited for what's happening here in Sarasota County. If you were at our annual meeting the other week, you heard a little bit about how we're tracking Sarasota County's economy. It is developing in a way that is truly reflective of a powerhouse in the Tampa Bay region, right? Our economy is reflecting more and more the economy of Tampa Bay, where you're seeing even more corporate headquarters, executive offices, tech and creative industries. And we're seeing that in Sarasota, downtown Sarasota, with a really great group of new founders and entrepreneurs that have moved in. Sarasota.tech is a great group that has launched this year. We're partnering with them on an event in November, and the theme is Sarasota investable? And we're going to be bringing investors and capital into Sarasota to tell the story of successful investment going on here and to encourage more of it. We have a new startup studio that's launching. It's called Studio SRQ. So you're going to want to keep a close eye on that group. Very cool. We are also working really closely with Moat Marine as they continue their expansion and their growth, getting ready to open Moat C, and what that means for the City Island location and all the incredible research and science that's coming out of Moat. What's really fun is we are working a program where, as Moat is creating this hugely impactful research, whether it's, on cancer cells or red tide, as that research is ready to be commercialized, we need businesses to essentially come into town, license that, take that, commercialize it, launch their business here or expand their business here, and then they can impact the world with this research, and they can do it temporarily housed with Moat. And so we're linked up with Moat. We have really cool AI tools where we can target very, very specific companies in their research and development. And then jointly, Moat and EDC are talking to them about come here, come land here, do some of your work with Moat alongside. Hopefully you incorporate a business here and you grow here. And so it's just really cool to get this bird's eye view and behind the scenes of how our economy is really rapidly growing and shifting. And I think throughout all of Sarasota County, you can really keep an eye on innovation, advanced manufacturing, technology, and creative industries.
Awesome. A lot of things happening in Sarasota and with the EDC. Erin, before we let you go, I got 3 rapid fire questions for you. All right, it won't be that hard, I don't think. Maybe. Okay, beach or mountain vacation, what do you prefer?
My absolute happy place, where I am the happiest, is in the water. It is snorkeling. I'm a certified scuba diver, although I haven't been for decades. But if you put me with a snorkel and a mask and a coral reef, it is very hard to get me out of the water.
Really?
My
Awesome.
husband can attest to that. I've been yelled at by boat captains. Get her out.
Pull her out. It's time to go. It's got to get back.
Literally. So I guess beach. Yes.
Okay, beach. And then, all right, second question. You might have to put, speaking of snorkeling, you might have to put your mom goggles on for this question. How many hours of sleep do you need a night so that you're not cranky the next day?
Oh my God. Well, really, for me, I am the type of person that has to get at least 8 hours of sleep, or else I am at half function the next day. So yeah, that first 14 months of motherhood, I was in a fog. I apologize to anybody for any strange interactions. I was in a fog. I'm very pleased to say that my 1.5-year-old is sleeping 10 hours a night, and I'm feeling great.
Awesome. Happy kid, happy mom. There's some saying in there, I'm sure. Last question, what is the most used app on your phone?
I really am continuing to enjoy more and more LinkedIn. I find that we have a great following, the EDC does, as well as myself. I think LinkedIn is very powerful for not only professional branding, but for me keeping in contact with my colleagues across the country and across the world. It's such a great tool. So I'm on LinkedIn a lot. You can find me there, connect with me.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, Erin Silk, CEO and President of Economic Development Corp of Sarasota County, thank you for joining us on the From the Corner Office podcast.
It's been so much fun. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you for listening to the Business Observer From the Corner Office podcast. I'm your host, Mark Gordy. This podcast was produced by Reed Corley of the Corley Company in Sarasota. To hear more episodes of From the Corner Office podcast, go to businessobserverfl.com.